Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem HaRachakodash. Saying double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopeful elect. So I had a conversation with Jake and an Edomite woman earlier in the morning. The Edomite woman, she's a veteran. So we got on the topic of Veterans Day, which is in a few weeks. The topic went from that to how they're being treated, to war, to all of the accounts that happen in history that are still questions around. They will call them conspiracy theories, but we just know the truth of the matter. So the Jake was talking about like 9/11, asking questions about 9/11. How come this? I heard this and I heard that. Even Vietnam, I heard this and I heard that. Now, I didn't actually connect the dots for him because I already had conversations with the Jake before, and I know that he's really not looking for answers. Jake just likes to indulge in hypothesizing and the what ifs. If you was to actually show him the truth, which I've done a few times, then they just get upset because they act like Cypress from the Matrix. Because once you actually reveal to them that yes, the rulers of this world's darkness, yes, this was done intentionally for this, for that, then they just get mad. Jake will rather just hypothesize and not really know for sure and just like to enjoy talking about it. But as soon as you connect the dots for him, then they get mad at you for revealing them the truth and how evil the world is. And then, the Edomite, she was feeling conflicted because she's a veteran. She wants to believe in the society. But he was going on and on about, like 9/11, Vietnam, where's the questions for this? And, name dropping, George Bush Jr., all the evil things they've done. And we were talking about corruption and how corruption is always at the top. And that's basically what I told him. It's always at the top, man. And he said that, his words, he said, a wise person once told me, you can never fathom the depths of Satan. I said, yeah. I said, that's actually a good quote. I'm going to use that. And yesterday at camp, we were speaking about how Esau, Edom, in the scriptures, is the vessel of dishonor. And that's what it all boils down to, because once you actually look and examine at the things this man has done and what he's still doing to this day, and the reason behind it and the motives behind it, you can't make sense of it. You can't try to logically explain it. This man, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and that includes the small hats, they are just vessels of dishonor. They are the wicked, according to the scriptures. As Romans chapter 9:21 said, have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? What if Yahweh, willing to show his wrath to make his power known, endureth with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, and he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory. So the Heavenly Father, when he created Jacob and Esau, he created a vessel for honor and another for dishonor. The vessel of honor and mercy are for the Israelites, Jacob. And the vessel of dishonor are these Edomites. All right, you can even throw the other nations in there, but primarily it's even Edomites, because even you go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, it said the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. The world will acknowledge Esau, Edom as the wicked, and that mystery of iniquity will be revealed and known. That's just all he is. And there's a quote from Gandhi, which is actually a good quote, where he says, earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed. And the greed is going to Esau, Edom, especially the wicked elite, the international bankers. The reason the earth is being on the brink of destruction as we speak is because of the greed of the Edomites and the greed of a small few. So it's a good quote, because you can see that just the greed of a small portion of the international bankers, the wicked elite, is bringing the earth to destruction. And that's just simply because he does not have an upright spirit in him. As the book of Job says, they rebel against the light. They only know evil. And their greed will not allow them to be content with their portion, will not allow them to be satisfied. As Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Talking about the wicked. But the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine. And the wine represents different philosophies and beliefs. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So yeah, when you go back in history and you look at 9/11, how that's an inside job, all the information is coming out. Truth about Vietnam, even George Bush had a Freudian slip of what he did with Iraq, how they used so-called attacks as justification to go and invade sovereign lands and sovereign countries. All the information is out now. You try to make sense of it. The fact is, there is no making sense of it. It's because of greed. You know, they did away with the gold standard for control. They didn't want people to be free. Just look up why they do away with the gold standard. Because they want people to be slaves. With people with gold, that means they're free. What do you think that they take interest in Venezuela or Iran or any other place that uses the American dollar, a part of the trade, and they want to do away with the American dollar? Once they do away with the American dollar, that means those countries are no longer under the grip of the U.S. So in his eyes, it's time for war. So they'll just make up a story. He's like, why can't you leave people alone? Because this man is a vessel of dishonor. His greed is literally going to be to the end of the earth. And he doesn't care that he's destroying and polluting the very same air, water, and food that he breathes, eats, and drinks. As long as they can control you, they don't care. As Matthew 24:22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. That's why time is speeding up. A lot of people don't understand why time is speeding up. The Lord is speeding up the time because he had to get these prophecies fulfilled and make the days short, because if he didn't, no flesh would be saved. The nuclear missile being the final boss, as you can say, that at the end of the day, that's what's going to really, if there was no divine intervention, that's what's just going to wipe out humanity. You think this devil cares? In his eyes, either he control you and he's the God of the world, or there is no world. Just like Aaron Russo had asked Nick Rockefeller and said, listen, you guys have everything you could possibly want. Why can't you just be happy with your portion? He said, because we want people in slavery. They don't want people to be free. And as we read, his spirit is as what? As death, as the grave, cannot be satisfied. As Proverbs 27:20, hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man that are never satisfied. So the grave is never full, they're never satisfied. There's always room to consume and to destroy. So if you ever think you can stop and just look at this man and think that eventually he'll be satisfied, you're wrong. That war in Gaza has been going on since 1949. Still going on. Even the president of Egypt at the time, Abdul Nasser, he sat down with a representative from America, from New York, in his country. It was in Egypt. It was in 1975 or 65. And he said, what do you think can happen to accomplish peace between the Palestinians, the Arab nations, and Israel? He said there'll never be peace because, he said, you Edomites. He said there'll never be peace because the Israelis don't want peace. He said it himself. He said, you guys just want to expand. And as long as there's talk of expansion, then there won't be any peace. And that's what that whole war, so-called, is all about. Expansion. You think they'll be happy with the land that they already stole? No, they want it all. And they will kill and lie to achieve what they want. I saw a video today that Netflix removed 32 videos from their platform. And they all were videos and movies that showed you the perspective of the Palestinian side. They removed all of them. So, because you can't sympathize with them. Can't sympathize with the Palestinians. They even are labeling watermelon as anti-Semitic because watermelon is a symbol that they use for the Palestinians about being free. Watermelon, can you believe that? So they're actually going into videos and movies, if they got watermelon in them, they're like editing it out because they say it's anti-Semitic. So this man, that's the spirit of this man. I'm going to kill and do what I want, and you're not allowed to speak against me. You're not allowed to feel sorry for the victims. We're the victims. And who we tell you is the perpetrator, that's who we going to tell you. Why? The source of it all is what? Greed. He's just a vessel of dishonor. They don't believe in sufficiency. They don't believe in content. Everything about them is just evil. And everything that they do, they want to bring it to pass. They want to make it lawful. They were always homosexuals. They just wanted to be legalized. They always wanted to cross-dress and wear women's clothes and women's underwear. They always wanted to sleep with animals and beasts. These are things they've been doing. They just wanted to be allowed. So when they pass these laws and pedophiles, and coming after your children, etc., these are things that they naturally think. They always wanted to do it. So they're just going to try to pass it off as law. It's not just a few people that's deranged and they want to change the rules. No, this is their spirit. They are vessels of dishonor. Everything about them is dishonorable. Nothing is good. That's why there's no such thing as a good Edomite. Psalms 58. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of man? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So from birth, they are dishonorable. Everything about them, everything they like to do, everything they so-called stand for is dishonorable. Their so-called ambitions is as the grave, is as death. They're never satisfied. They will never be satisfied. They want the whole world in chains. They want the whole world in slavery. They want to monopolize the food market. So they actually commit sabotage. They blow up egg farms and chicken farms. They derail trains to pollute the water supply of those who live off the grid because they don't want you to. They want to bundle you up in 15-minute cities. They want everything and everybody controlled. They don't want you free. Job 24. Verse 13. They are of those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. They don't know what righteousness is. They don't know what light is. They don't know what content is. They don't know what satisfying is. They say, we want more. We need more. More control. We need to pollute that water, pollute the air. We need death. All of your so-called world leaders, like the video I just put up regarding Kissinger, said what? He said the policy regarding third world countries is depopulate. The Georgia Guidestones, what's number one on the list? Depopulate the people. He's just a vessel of dishonor. They are they that rebel against the light. It's all they know. Verse 17, it says, for the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. That's all they know. And the Edomites deep down, they know. They know that they're truly, the desires and the things that they truly want to do are all considered dishonorable. They're natural homosexuals. They're natural. That's what their sense of humor is all about. Penises, buttholes, and nutsacks. That's funny to them. They naturally want to wear their wives' underwear and try on their clothing and etc. like that. They got to pick somebody to play a role in a movie, a woman, instead of just going to hire a woman. They're like, no, I want to do it. I just put me in the cross dress. It's like, why don't you just get a woman? I don't want to get a woman. I want to play the role, because that's just in their spirit. They like sleeping with animals and whatnot. They don't believe in content, which is what the scriptures teach. They believe in greed, and it's never satisfied. So what's going to be the end result? End result is, if it was not for divine intervention, no flesh shall be saved. Read that again. It just boils down to, man, these people are the wicked. You can't try to, that's why I like that quote that he said. Whoever told him that. You can't fathom the depths of Satan. You can't get to the bottom of this man's evil deeds and greed. You can't. Because his spirit is as of death, and death is never satisfied. So yes, the more you dig deep, the more you figure out who's responsible for what. And why this man made all these policy changes just to either inflict harm or to control you or to ensure you become a slave in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, they did away with the gold just for that one purpose. Read it again in Romans 9. Verse 20. Nay, but O man, who art thou that thou repliest against the Most High? Shall this thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Have not the potter power of the clay, of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor, and another unto dishonor? What if Yahweh, willing to show his wrath, to make his power known, endureth with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, to make his what? Power known. And that's what he's doing now. He's suffering you so that he can make his power known. And then you can finally get that destruction that you were created for. Look at what you do when you have the power. Look at what you do. Proverbs 16:4, the Lord Yahweh made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. This is why you were created. 2 Ezra 6:7, Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, vessel of dishonor, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, the vessel of honor and mercy. Shalom.